that campaign sounded really powerful, and I love the strapline coming back stronger. What's been the reaction to that? Has that message been sustained?
It was sustained for a period of time because the production staff, the restart of production was phased. So they came, those 1,500 people came back for a day and a half of training. They didn't build a car. They were shown the one-way systems. They were shown where the hand sanitizers was. They were shown the new system for the loos, and they were also shown how to build cars in a different way, keeping 2 meters distance. And we took one line back initially. Then a couple of weeks later, the other production line came back. Meanwhile, of course, we had people coming off furlough in different phases. And then it was only just a couple of weeks ago that we then started to communicate with the office staff, some of whom had been working throughout, some were coming back from furlough, to tell them that actually they wouldn't be coming back, at least not in any great numbers or with any great regularity. Which is a kind of an upside down message, but trying to explain to them that, as you know, we've all managed to work fine at home using different platforms. It's very important that we reduce density of people on site to maintain the safety of those that do need to be on site to build cars. And then prior to the change from the government last week, we still had to have 2 meter spacing between desks. So actually there weren't enough desks for everyone to come back on site. So we Come Back Stronger has started to go. So for the office staff, it became a very simple, working from home is the new normal, or working remotely, as we need to say now, because people don't have to be at home. And the other challenge we had last week was, despite what's going on outside our doors across the UK, we have elected to maintain 2 meters as the distancing across the factory because we think it's the safest thing to do. And it's just about educating colleagues why we want to have 2 meters and what could be the implications if they don't stick to those rules. And again, everyone seems to be complying and is very happy to do so, and it's very understanding. And I'm told it's because that whole Come Back Stronger message right at the beginning was clear to people. The communication was consistent, it was regular, it was human. Yes. It was transparent. We talked about the problems we had. It was led by the CEO, and we're very fortunate to have you've met him. He comes across really, really well. And then since then, like many companies, we've had to start talking about job losses, not caused by COVID-19, but hastened by it. And colleagues have been very accepting of this, and the anecdotal feedback is one of the reasons for that is that we've rebuilt trust in the internal comms brand, shall we say, because of this whole Come Back Stronger campaign.
And I think for me, what stands out from the conversation you've had are 3 things really, Wayne. One is that human touch. It's kind of dealing with the whole person. It's not just dealing with the person who comes in to work and builds a car. It's dealing with the person who's at home, whose friends, whose family, whose parents, whose wife, husband may well have some concerns about them coming back. So I think that whole human approach and tapping into and addressing those emotional challenges that people might have is really important at this time. I think the second thing that really comes across is the care and attention of the leaders in this, and really kind of leading from the front and role modelling the Bentley behaviours that we that are still very woven through everything that you're doing, but doing that in a way that's really connecting with people. And I think the last thing is that flexibility. It's not holding on to something just for the sake of it. It's actually flexing the messages. flexing the approach. So for office staff, really, do you need to come in? Is it actually more pragmatic and safe for them to stay at home or stay working remotely, as you talk about? So I think those are the key three things for me. One is around the human touch, one is around leading from the front and the importance of leaders in this, and the third thing is the flexibility. I've just got one last question to ask you, is what lessons have you learned from this approach that you've taken?
You mentioned flexibility. Gosh, but when you think back, how well, first of all, we didn't even know what we were getting into. There's no textbook for this, and certainly in terms of our communications, we've had to trust our guts and what we feel is right, what we feel is going to land well, because no one's really been through anything like this before. So certainly not with the pace, and I think it's also a benefit of age, is that you've experienced all different things, so you can put that past experience into whatever you're going through now, and just learn to trust yourself and what you feel and just go with it. We have had to learn to adapt very quickly, and because of that, I think we've become much more nimble in tackling situations, trying to communicate different processes in a very clear, easy way. We've got, I think the whole organisation has got to know each other much better. So empathy between different areas has really increased. And I think we've also learned to very much trust each other more, because we've had to, but equally trust is earned, isn't it, Ruth?
Yeah, it is.
And we've all read about working is not going to be the same again, but I very much think it won't be. Certainly for the office staff, because actually quality of life is much improved. Sustainability is a key theme for us at Bentley, so we're using less energy in the office areas. Another funny statistic is our use of paper has gone down by sort of 90% over this time, because of course no one's printing anything. Yes.
Yeah.
Where we're based, people can't really take public transport to get here, so there's probably 1,000 less Bentley employees on the road every day, and that's going to carry on.
So if there was one top tip that you would like to leave with people around how to engage the workforce, what would it be?
Be open and honest.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. Really like you to thank you for your time today, and have a good day.
You're very welcome, Ruth. Lovely to see you.